What's up everyone, welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel, and in this video I'm gonna cover several topics as I really enjoy lately to cover up several things at once as they are all kind of connected. So let's start with it. So the last period in my life is the busiest period I ever experienced. Beside all the things that I do, which you already know, graphic design, I do also run my website with the online courses, YouTube channel, one-on-one teaching, mixing and mastering, of course, beside the writing music as well. I also started the label. I still didn't manage to do anything with it, but everything is prepared and hopefully I will start with it pretty soon. Also, I plan to record several more courses that I got feedback from many of you who are keen to see about mixing and mastering and sound design. These two courses are gonna come later this year. And recently I started the club. So from 23rd December, I started the club. We renovated everything. So it's in an old factory in Belgrade, in the first factory ever built, but I already said this in previous videos. Anyway, so the preparation and the whole construction, everything was done by me and my father. And it was the biggest project of my life. And thankfully it's a success. And the club started hosting the parties, and parties are going pretty good. So anyway, the name of the club is Cube Club. And you can find cubebelgrade.com if you want to check it out. And also on Instagram page, you can search for a Cube Club Belgrade. Anyway, in the last period, in the last several years, I'm kind of struggling to find the music that's inspiration for me. So I did say this many times, and I believe this is a really, really important thing, as I believe that all of us together, even though if we all work kind of by ourselves, but we are all inside of the scene together and we're building the scene together. I wasn't aware of this. I heard this a long time ago, but I didn't understand it. But basically, when you listen to someone's music, there is a moment when you get inspiration. Lately it was really, really fine, especially because of the progressive music. When I started as Eclipse, it had something, it had some depth, it has this storytelling. In my opinion, it was a way better than it is today. And somehow this is not the first time that I got inside of this kind of problem. The same happened to me in 2010, something like this. So I was making a full on, and then I got hooked into the music from 2000 till 2004. This is for me the best period for Psytrance ever. So even if you like full-on music, even if you like kind of tech music, even if you like progressive music. So in these 4 or 5 years, there was so much great releases. I don't know why. Maybe it is because I was 20 years old when I was listening to that music. Maybe it is because it's just greatest, but this is the moment when I got hooked for Psytrance music. This is why I started making it. So as the time was passing, the music was changing, and I was producing full on under the name Beyond Ecliptica. Around 2008-9, I got into the moment where I really didn't like the music. So I already spent around 6 years in doing something, and I was like super hard worker. I was working enormous amount of time. I was sacrificing my school, everything. So I was really obsessed with it. And I got so disappointed on myself around 2009 that I spent so much time. And on the end now, it happened that I don't like that music anymore. So I was kinda disturbed and depressed and concerned. How can you spend this much effort, this much time, and now after several years you are facing that you don't like it anymore? So for me, this was like you cannot behave like this in life. Like the time is passing and you cannot spend this much time, and this time is gonna be wasted. And then something happened because I was trying to find music that inspired me, and I really didn't like what I was listening to. And then suddenly I managed, because I was collecting the CDs in that time, I managed to find some old CDs as well because I was listening to the new music. So I got these older CDs, and when I started listening to that music, everything came back. So all the inspiration and everything. And this is the beginning for Eclipse. I decided that I don't want to follow anymore what's popular whatsoever, that I want to do music, and I'm going to make music that is inspiring me. Again, this happened, and I just came back from the holidays. We were on the mountain, and also I was trying to put some music that we will enjoy, and somehow it just didn't happen. So I just remember that, and thankfully the Spotify has a lot of that music as well. So I started digging through the older music and I started listening to it, and I got the same effect as I did in 2009. So I believe this is one of the biggest moments in my career, because I'm again deciding that I will make music that I feel, and I just started one track by being inspired by the music from that time. This is the first thing that I want to mention. The second thing is that I will show you now how the different production approach can affect the music itself. So for example, I'm trying to produce something, and I did try in the past also to use the modern production and to do like this old school type of the vibe whatsoever, but it wasn't possible because of different approach. So for example, we are using really sharp and really strong kicks and basses today with a lot of highs, mids, and they are really popular and they sound amazing. So this is not debatable even. I really believe that these new kicks and bassline techniques, everything that started to happen in the last few years, are really pushed the Psytrance production to another level. But if we look on those kicks and basses and these techniques and these samples and sound designs, they cannot produce the same effect as some kind of older style kicks and the basses. For example, you will not hear that much of the kicks and the basses that do not have high frequencies in a Psytrance today. You will in maybe Forest and some other subgenres of Psytrance music, but in progressive full-on, everything is going to be like dega, 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 dega. So the whole idea is that, for example, if we have the kick with highs, then the kick will show up in our face. This is the psychoacoustic effect, and basically we will hear it like that's in front. So everything that has mids and highs, we will hear it as in front. So if we remove the highs and if we reduce the mids on the kick, we will have a feeling that it is a little bit far away. This is gonna provide a depth of a track. So today there are some artists that are using in progressive music like Captain Hook, Deckel, and this is how they get this deeper feeling for their tracks. And I believe this is really important. So getting inspired by listening only to several tracks from this time, I got into the studio and I managed to do something that I really like in about an hour. So I believe that this track is gonna go so smoothly when I continue working on it, as I really dig this feeling, this vibe. So the track is in 140, it's an E key, and I did drop this kind of old school kick, and I also dropped the new kicks, and I will show you A/B testing and show you how different it actually sounds when we use the new kind of the kicks and the basses, and if we use these older ones. So this is the music that I really like, and I also like a bit faster with the rolling bass lines whatsoever, but this was the beginning of something that I really like. So let's compare the kicks. So for example, this kick is pretty kinda, I don't know, dull. So I tried to replicate some of the kicks from the past. I still have a lot of samples from this period, which is really good. I didn't delete anything, and hopefully I did manage to save all of them. In general, this is the kick synthesis. So I did create this from the beginning, and I did try to get this old school feeling and try to start using this kick. And again, this morning I did try to make this kick, especially this kick. I used it in many of my tracks lately, in One Consciousness and other ones. So it's really, really powerful, really, really great sounding, this one. So it's kind of modern. It has this really good hi-hat on top. The punch on the mids is really, really nice, and it does cover all the frequent range. If you hear on solo both of them, you will agree that this first or this modern kick sounds way, way better. So when it comes for the bass line, so this is the new style bass line, a lot of this pluck effect, a lot of mids, and it's really powerful, super processed bass line. While if I compare with the second one or the old school bass line, so it's basically just a few effects on it, and the synthesis is really, really simple. The saw, the only difference is that random is on 0, and also the phase. I did not want it to start from the middle, because that way, without attack, it will create this pluck effect, which I do not want for this track. So I opened the attack, and I wanted to have only the low frequencies and a bit of the mids, and I did put the delay on it, and of course the side chaining, and of course EQing, blah blah blah. I did try to bring this pluck here, but there's not much difference, so I will turn this off, and I did clear some of the frequencies that I do not want. So basically, if you can see, and there's a high cut here as well, I'm just trying even to reduce this mid area over here, as I want this bass line to be really deep, and that way, if the low frequencies are mostly heard, then we're gonna have a feeling that it's kind of going backwards. So I will compare you now. Let me just delete this, I don't need it. Okay, so I will A-B while the track is going. So with the new kick in the bass, it's really not the same emotion in the track. So this is it's completely out of the context. Even though if all the sounds are the same and if it goes well, it just loses this depth. It loses the main emotion. This is that deep, I don't know, emotion or whatever you want to call it. But the whole track is just getting out of its zone. So what I decided, I'm gonna try to find a solution to make all of these older kicks to sound more powerful. Basically, this one already does, because the kicks from that period were really short and they did not have much of the low frequencies. So I'm trying to bring this power of the new production, of the new style inside this old school, or I don't know how to call this kind of the style of the production. So basically, and of course also the resonance is up on the bassline, which is not popular today at all, and it does create something like boom, 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 which is really nice. If I remove the resonance, and again, yeah, from that period of time, people used to use a lot the drum loops, like the loops from the drum machines, then to record them and chop them and put a little bit of delay on it, and it used to sound really nice. I will start releasing this type of the music. I have a lot of unreleased tracks which I'm gonna put, which are kind of similar to the latest tracks I did in the last few years, but I want to start bringing this type of the music because I don't know, it does flow out of me. So the main advice I would give to all of you is that you should always follow the music that you like and the music that works for you. Like, for example, if I'm gonna try to do some music as some one artist because of the success whatsoever, every time I'm spending the time on that track, I do need a way more time, because I'm trying to understand and trying to find out what is exactly working in this track, because I naturally do not feel that track, and I'm trying to understand why people like it. And I believe this is the circle that so many artists are doing, and there's not many of the artists that are following the music which they like the most, and that we all rely on one each other, and that we do influence all of us together. When I started living from the music, this was the moment of time when I stopped chasing the music that I like the most, and this is when I got stressed, like, do I need to provide for my life? Will I get enough gigs whatsoever? So all of these were the things that were influencing me to start trying to make more popular music of that time and to change my original style. So today I'm doing everything that I can, that I make certain money for living outside of the music itself, because I want to make my music to be true, that it really does come out of me. So I did find my zone of inspiration finally again, and I really hope that you're gonna like it and that you're gonna like this video as well. So it's already a long video, so I wanted to share this with you, with all of you, and I really hope that you like this video and that you got something that might be really useful for your development or your career. Thank you very much for watching, and see you soon with another video. Bye.